Welcome to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage coming to you live from South Fort Chevrolet here in Fort Saskatchewan. We've been treated pretty well so far.
Yeah, we've got Wurst and pretzels and Boublés.
Yeah,
Working on
yeah.
the car. I think I've got a buyer for that Corvette over there. I'm pretty sure. Once I get him in here.
That's quite the Corvette.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, and we got a honker of a truck right in front of us as well. That's the dream one day. One day, Gager. We got a fun show lined up. Let's get to the lineup quickly, and then we'll touch base already. Your guy, Don Taylor, from the Donnie and Dhali show on Chek TV, will join us at 1:20. At 2:20, Daniel Nugent-Bowman. We got lines for the Edmonton Oilers as they close out their preseason. We'll get to all that. And Zach Mathis, rookie wide receiver for the Edmonton Elks, started his first game last week. He'll join us at 2:40 for a quick combo as they have a big game coming up as well. Like usual, hit us up on the Nasty Chat or text us at 780-218-9999. Gager, we're here at South Fort Chevrolet. The Fort Sask under-17 team will be on site helping with the barbecue. Our listeners can see how they stack up against them in the Slapshot Raider booth they have set up just outside. Yeah. Also, the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Sask will be on site and are accepting donations for their youth sports programming. They're in need of school snacks for the kids that can partake in their programming. There's a nice little setup right now for that. And, of course, German pretzels and bratwursts here this afternoon, along with great sales and discounts throughout the day. So come hang out with us. Of course, Reed and Jay coming to you from 3-6, followed at 7 o'clock with the Oil Stream pregame show, followed by the postgame show that you're going to be a part of.
Yeah, I know, and we're getting some information from Zachticum. It sounds like we're coming through the laptop, and I'm not sure how that.
Yeah, we'll probably need Dusty over here, so stick with us here.
Sorry if the sound's not great.
Jay, can you get Dusty? I guess the sound is really bad right now. So yeah, so just stick with us. We'll get our on-site engineer, Dustin Nielsen. I think he's getting some food, which I don't blame.
No, he's been working hard this morning, early afternoon.
Well, what's interesting is that we haven't changed that.
No.
Yeah. So I don't know why it's coming through.
In the Corvette right now.
Oh, yeah. He's getting in the Corvette.
That's the priorities.
Yeah, priorities.
So,
he's not going to be back.
Yeah, so I hopefully we can get this sorted out here very quickly here for you. We don't want to lose you. I want you to keep coming. Hammer that thumbs up as well and send the messages in as you guys sound like you're underwater on iHeart, so yeah, that's not good. It's coming good within our headphones and all that, but a lot of people on the inbox. There he is.
About to go on a Corvette voice. I was in the car. What's going on? What's it sound like?
It says like we're talking out of a cone, like we're underwater. We haven't moved anything.
Who says this?
Sorry?
This is in the Nasty Chat, and Zach said that we are. Sorry. The background noise is super
Send it
loud,
to Zach.
And it sounds like you guys are coming through the laptop.
No, I know. Yeah, that's it. I know what's going on here.
Okay.
We're just working on. This
Sorry.
is live engineering.
How about now? Is that better?
That's beautiful.
Oh, there we
There
go.
it is.
We needed Dusty for
Dusty,
that.
you can go back into the car.
Go back.
I was looking at that car under the hood and seeing what
people
they
are
had.
still saying it's not good. So
It's very quiet. Are you guys able to turn your levels up at all?
they're as loud as they can get right now. So
Alrighty.
Chat, just let us know how it's sounding and if it's improved at all, because we don't know what else to do here. So
Sorry.
Joel says very good. Wow, sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay, we're back. We're back, Gager.
I like it. If you can, I don't know if you mentioned this, but is as you might guess, Hernan's a bit of a toucher, especially when you're close together. If we can get the over-under of how much Hernan's going to touch my shoulder today, because he'll keep doing it. He's already, I think we're at 5. I've been counting in my mind. And watch this. In 10, 15 minutes, he's going to touch my shoulder again, although we're right next to each other.
And now that you said it, now I'm self-conscious about it, so I will not touch you. I will not. I am a toucher. My girlfriend always is like, what are you doing? Like, and when I have a few cervezas, I become a close talker, so I'm one of those guys. So sounds a ton better. Let's go. Yes, it's on.
For 12 for sure.
Yeah.
65. Yeah, it's going to be a lot because he'll forget soon. He'll forget. It's great. I love it.
It's hey, and we got an NHL game going on right now, Gage.
Oh, we do too, don't we?
Yeah, let me check the score. Last time I saw was the Devils up 3-0 on the Buffalo Sabres. Same thing, 16 minutes to go there in the period number 3, and they'll play tomorrow again at 8 a.m. to wrap out that global series. But we got lines, Gager. And we do.
Fantastic.
This is how the Oilers will roll out today for their final preseason game. To me, this is very close to what we're going to see next Wednesday. So we're going to go with RNH, McDavid, Hyman, no surprise. Skinner with Draisaitl, Arvidsson, Janmark with Enrique and Brown, and your fourth line, Podkolzin with Philp and Perry. Ryan was not on the ice, who's probably going to be your fourth line center there. Kajula and Lavoie, your extras. Defensively, and this is where it gets interesting, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse with Emerson, Kulak with Troy Stetcher, and your 7 and 8 are Travis Dermott and Josh Brown. Surprised by any of that?
No, I don't know. I don't. It's not that I don't care, but I just want to see some continuity. You know, I don't. It doesn't matter at this point. It's preseason. Everyone's still going at half speed here. I don't like this last game, tell you the truth, buddy. I just want it to
just get over and get healthy.
Yeah, I would. I don't like that it's on the road. The way that the last game ended against Vancouver, there was a little bit of more animosity. Not having Brown in the lineup, I think it's weird in this scenario. Just a little bit of maybe a deterrent. I know it doesn't happen much, but. I mean, we saw what Puce did with Connor McDavid last game, all these other things. I'm guessing TJ Miller will probably be in the lineup tonight too we'll get it from Don Taylor maybe, and he can let us know. But you want to put the seed of doubt into a team that you're going to be playing, especially in the Pacific Division. So I'm gonna say it's a spirited battle tonight, where the score doesn't even matter, which makes it even more dangerous.
Yeah, for me, this is a huge opportunity for Troy Stetcher. They're saying, hey, we're not happy with that right side on the third pairing. Yeah. This is your game to show us. And it's a little unfortunate because it's one game. And now with Travis Dermott, you don't have to sign him. He can still hang out with the team. We've seen that done before. I think Tommy brought up, I can't remember the player. He was a forward at the time. So you don't have to sign him. Josh Brown will be your 7th Gager. But this is a big game for Troy Stetcher. And then Noah Philp, I think Kajula and Lavoie are the obvious that are going to go down, and Noah Philp will be the 13th forward. He might start. We don't know if it's an injury for Derek Ryan, but I like what I'm seeing. Sounds like Stuart Skinner's going to get the start. Do you like the number 1 guy getting this last game in here?
No. But maybe half the game. I don't know. I want him a little bit. He looked fine. You know, maybe he doesn't feel great, like where he wants his game to be. But you know what? Sometimes being a little bit uncomfortable helps too.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And so you don't, because when you get into a game, actually, like, you know, when you hear guys say, oh, I was a little bit injured, but once I get into the game, I'm fine, because you're not thinking about it anymore. Like right now, when you're an established NHLer, you're trying to feel good, and sometimes it just doesn't. Your equipment's not right, or your skate's not right, whatever the situation may be. But when the actual starts for real, all that stuff goes away anyway. So wrap them in bubble wrap and wear the sumo suits and just get this thing done. No, like a lot of times in these games, you'd get veterans telling me to go no icings tonight. That's my own team. Like I'd have to jump out and dive to make sure that we could keep the game rolling so we could get out of there as quick as possible.
Play every puck.
Oh, play everything. Yeah.
Just on the touching stuff, Zedmo says HR looking into HR daddy. Todd Gack says I got 8 shoulders and 1 leg. Our Jess says if you put the Nerf gun in Hernan's hand, he will touch you less. That's a good point. If I'm just sitting here like this. This one says Gager's a shower, not a grower. Don't touch me. A shower.
A shower,
not a shower.
A shower.
Yeah, but that's it with the Edmonton Oilers. Are you happy that Stetcher's there instead of Josh Brown? Now, that doesn't mean anything. They can change their minds come Wednesday, because when I look at this, I look at Josh Brown is going to be here to start the season. He's not going to the minors. I think they might hold off on Dermott just for now. Maybe wait a few days, see how the first couple of games go. Because we said yesterday, there's numbers.
That was
6.
actually 2. That was actually 2. That was a double. Anyone saw that? That's a double tap. That's a double tap.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're going to have to put something here. What's it called?
I knew it.
What was that? I don't even know what. Oh, yeah. Josh Brown's going to be here. Travis Dermott, they'll probably keep their powder dry. But we said on EST afternoons yesterday, we're going to give this defense 10 games.
Yeah, we are.
So that's what we're going to roll with. It's 1:14 here. We're at live from South Fort Chevrolet here in Fort Sask. I haven't made this drive in a while, Gager.
No, I used to make it not too frequently, but back in the day, slinging RG11, I was out in the fort a while, little bits here and there. Not a bad drive. You think it's long, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, I came down the good old Yellowhead onto the highway. I didn't go the Manning route. Is that the way you come into?
No, I came Henday, whatever. Yeah, Henday to 16, then down.
Okay. And keep it locked here on EST afternoons as we have the EST Flyaway to LA presented by the 780. That's coming up in the second hour. Daniel Nugent-Bowman as well, and Zach Mathis from your Edmonton Elks as they get ready to take on the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. There's a dog right in front of us, and I kind of want to go pick him up.
Yeah, very cute, very cute.
You have a prediction for tomorrow's Elks game?
Unfortunately, the Elks are not going to win that game. Trevor Harris is going to come in, light up his own team like normal, and it's that's going to be it. And then the real conversations start about next year, moving forward, which I think needs to happen. Changes need to happen. Big changes.
You think it's time to go the full change, eh?
Full change, yeah. No.
And nothing would change your mind. Say they go 2-1 in these final 3. But still miss the playoffs, I guess.
No, once you get into a situation, you don't want to fall into the playoffs. It's not good, and I just think that the last 2 games have shown that the Elks just aren't ready for playoff football yet. There's there's a switch that needs to be flipped, and I look back to the start of the season where, things obviously weren't going great, but then they started to pick up steam. Hernan, I think that a lot of these teams that were going up against the Elks, just from recency bias of how poorly they've done over the last few years, they kind of took them lightly. And you can't take a team lightly. And so all of a sudden, they're talked about as one of the best teams in the league, and then they get other team's best games. The outcomes are extremely different, right?
Yeah.
And
you saw it with Winnipeg.
You saw it the last game, and you didn't see it the whole first game, but I think you definitely saw it in that fourth quarter where it was just it was a beatdown. It was a beatdown essentially for 5 quarters of football.
Yeah.
And that's the team you want to they're a measuring stick of where you are, and they're not even close.
Yeah, and still to come, we're going to get to, obviously, the Global Series game that's going on right now. Connor McDavid, I guess, fears ketchup, so we're going to touch on that. If you're scared of any certain condiment, we're in a dealership. I want to know what was your first car, Gage, and we'll get to all that fun stuff. Of course, the Utah Hockey Club has announced Clayton Keller's their first time. We had a hell of a Thursday nighter, Gage. That was a fun one. Kirk Cousins delivers again, and then how about Pete Alonso saves the New York Mets 9th inning with the 3-run shot there for the the New York Mets, who I think I'm going to jump on their bandwagon. But we got to get to break here as we're going to bring in Don Taylor from the Donnie and Dhali show on Chek TV. This guy, I think me and Gage were very similar in age. We grew up watching this guy. He was great in his delivery. The way he used certain NHLers' names was the best. And we'll also talk Canucks and a little bit of BC Lions with Don Taylor. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. Give us a thumbs up. Hit us up on our inbox at 780-218-9999 or hit us up on the Nasty Chat. That's all coming up here on Edmonton Sports Talk. But first, here is Zach with a sports update.
It's the Oilers playing one more preseason game in Vancouver against the Canucks at 8 o'clock. Tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Hernan Salas and Tom Gazzola at 7, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. NHL regular season has started with the Devils and Sabres out in Czechia. The Devils lead the Sabres 3-0 in the third. Other games see the Flames meeting the Jets, Rangers facing the Islanders, and the Lightning with puck drop against the Hurricanes for preseason action. In the NFL, it's the Blue Bombers and the Ticats going at it with the Stamps and the Lions after that. Tomorrow, the Elks play the Riders, and Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne go live for the Green and Gold kickoff show at 4 o'clock. Kickoff is at 5. NFL injuries see Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants, David Njoku questionable for the Browns with a chance to play, and Zamir White doubtful for the Raiders. Just after the break, EST Afternoons continues. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and now you're up to date.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Why tee off at the Ranch Golf and Country Club?
A fun, unique layout offering premier conditions. The Ranch has been ranked as one of the top public courses in Canada.
Unmatched value. Score Golf Magazine rated the Ranch as the best value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as newborn 8-pound, 6-ounce Mitch Lewicki. You can picture grown-up Mitch, or teenage Mitch, or bearded Mitch, or whoever you want.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road. Park Mazda does.
Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We're coming to you live from Fort Chev's Chevrolet here in Fort Saskatchewan. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. Haven't heard from Zach, so I think we're good to go. I can see our guest is waiting in the bullpen. We're very excited to have Don Taylor join us, of course, from the Don and Dhali show on Chek TV. And if Zach can give us a thumbs up when we're ready to go here with Don Taylor. Don, how you doing today?
Good. You guys can hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you. Perfect.
Good.
Don, before we get to all the sports here, the guy beside me, Joaquin Gage, we both kind of similar in age, and we're big fans of your work. Grew up watching you, and just the way you had your delivery and the way you used certain NHLers' names was just absolutely fantastic. And I think you used Joaquin Gage a few times, didn't you?
Pardon me?
I think you used Joaquin Gage in your sports updates a few times.
Of course, he's a legend around here. Absolutely, a puck stopping legend.
Don, what a pleasure to have you on the show. I was. We're of a certain vintage, but I remember staying up late at 11 o'clock to watch Sports Night with you all the time. Thanks for joining us today. Can I just stop you guys for 1 second? Would you please stop with the "I grew up watching you" stuff? Okay, come on.
Well,
am I that old or are you that young?
I remember the first time I met you. Actually, it was at a Vancouver Canadians game. You'll never remember, but I came up and introduced myself.
I remember that well. It was at Nat. I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, Nat.
But I remember you as a goaltender. Absolutely outstanding.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Don, big game tonight, I guess, for this because preseason's almost over. I think that's what we're most excited about here. But the way that the last game ended between the Canucks and the Oilers, I think some of that playoff animosity bled over to into that game. What's the biggest story coming out of like Vancouver right now? I mean, probably I think it would be centered on the goaltending, is it not?
Yeah. And you can relate to this, Joaquin. I mean, you can make all the predictions you want about the Canucks, and you can talk about what's happening with their defense and up front as well. And they've made some changes and lost some people and acquired some people as well. But this massive question mark with Thatcher Demko, when is he coming back? When he does come back, will he be anywhere near 100%? What the heck is a popliteus? I mean, and for people who don't know, it's the muscle, a muscle in behind the knee that a lot of people in hockey had no idea about. It's an injury more commonplace among soccer players, actually. So there's just a massive question mark with a goaltender who was a Vezina. People forget, he was a Vezina finalist last year. And do they have belief in Artur Silovs? Yeah, Kevin Lankinen, sure, but not like they have belief in Thatcher Demko, at least not in this point. So, I mean, it's hard to make any predictions with the Vancouver Canucks, and a lot of people have them doing some special things. It's hard to make predictions until people really know, get a firm idea on what's happening with Thatcher Demko's health. So until that happens, it's just a big question mark around here, around Vancouver.
Don, with Demko still in doubt, how do you see the goaltending being managed with Artur Silovs and Lankin in there? Do you see it more being Silovs the go-to guy, or a 50-50 split, or is it kind of win and stay in scenario early on?
I would think, given the playoffs, and you guys know this, he was pretty impressive against Nashville, and then more so against Edmonton, where he started carrying the entire load. And people forget, in that Nashville series, Casey DeSmith played a game or two there, and then Artur Silovs took over. So I would think that he will be given. Again, it's all up in the air, and certainly Kevin Lankinen has more experience. But I would think that, and Silovs is playing the entire game tonight. I don't know if you're aware of that he'll be given every opportunity to gain the temporary number one job, and then they'll go from there, in the hopes that Thatcher Demko gets somewhat completely healthy and takes over. But I think you have to give the guy respect. I'm talking about Silovs, because of what he did last year in the playoffs, and he has the trust of Rick Tocchet and their goaltending staff as well, which has also undergone changes too.
Don, you have one of the best defensemen in the league in Quinn Hughes, having the Norris Trophy winning season last year. I don't think that's his. Do you think you've hit the ceiling with Quinn Hughes, or is there even another gear that you can see from this player? Because it's something to just be good defensively, but when you can generate offense from the back end like he does, it makes a whole different dimension for the Vancouver Canucks.
He thinks he can get to. He's very confident. He thinks, and very driven. He thinks he can get to another gear, to another level. I think he believes that and more so, even though I think initially there were more questions about his defense, I think he believes he can get to bigger and better places offensively. I know he worked on his shot last year, and he's done the same thing this year. He thinks his shot can get better, and he can make better decisions. It's hard to believe that he could get better skating wise, but he just doesn't. I mean, his dad's a coach. His dad runs camp. He's got 2 brothers playing in the National Hockey League. He is just, and there's a reason for that. They're just a very driven family. He's not just driven. His brothers are driven. His dad is driven. And Lord knows his mom is the same way. I think he's always looking to improve. Very low-key guy. Like when you see him talk, and maybe there's some comparisons there with Connor McDavid. We just saw, we saw those teasers for the Amazon Prime series. If you don't think he's intense, check that out. And I think there's something there with Quinn Hughes too. I think he's much more intense than people think. And I know, and he's hinted at it, that he thinks he can be even better. And we're talking about somebody who's coming off a Norris Trophy winning season. So they really have themselves a special player there. And I believe him. I think that, I can't specifically pick out what he would need to improve on, but I know he's, like I say, driven, and there's things I'm sure he wants to work on. And I wouldn't bet against the guy.
It's interesting that you say that, because we've all seen the snippets of Connor losing it after Game 2 in Florida now. I would say both captains, before all this information with the TV series coming out, are these guys vocal enough in the dressing room? Yeah. Do they lead by example? So you're saying probably if cameras were rolling, we would see Quinn Hughes dropping a few more F-bombs if the Canucks weren't playing well?
Well, it's interesting you say that, Joaquin, because, and I don't know this, but he's the Vancouver player that Amazon Prime series is going to focus on. So maybe we'll see some of that. It wouldn't surprise me. And I think given his resume, it's been a short period of time, but given the resume that he's already built up in a pretty short period of time, who's to say players wouldn't listen? You always get the feeling watching games and hearing interviews that JT Miller is probably the most vocal player on the team. But I'm wondering, as time goes by and he builds up more experience in the National Hockey League, if Quinn Hughes is going to be the guy that players listen to, and rightfully so, because he's the captain more than anybody else. He's just a fabulous player.
Hey Don, what can you tell us about a guy we know very well here? He was sort of a fan favorite here in Vinny Desharnais. How's he fitting in there with that Canucks core group?
So far, so good. He's on, as you would expect, and as people in Vancouver would expect, on a third pairing with Derek Forbert coming over from the Boston Bruins. They have a lot of ex-Bruins in Heinen and DeBrusk as well. I think what they're looking for with Desharnais, and just reading around the edges of what the Canucks have been saying, is that they think there might be something there. First of all, he's big, right? And Rick Tocchet loves that. I know Hughes and Hronek aside, their skill is number one when you look at what they have to offer. But he likes his big defensemen, so Desharnais is like that. But keep in mind that the Canucks coaching staff includes Sergei Gonchar, who's a guy you could argue might one day be headed to the Hall of Fame. They've also got Adam Foote. So a couple of old, grizzled former NHL defensemen who had a lot of success. And I think the belief is that Desharnais is somewhat of a project. And, that they think there's more there, maybe even to the point, not necessarily offensively, but maybe he could do something like what Zadorov did for the Canucks in the playoffs last year. Now, maybe that's crazy. You guys are up in Edmonton. You know the player better than I do, but I think that they believe with those types of coaches that maybe there's something there with Desharnais where he can get to another level.
Yeah, let's switch gears to the BC Lions that are hosting the Calgary Stampeders tonight, Don. Since Rourke's joined that team, they've kind of been up and down. They lost a tight one last week in overtime, a game I think they should have won there. What's going on with the BC Lions? Because it just seems they can't get any traction going right now.
Well, I don't think Nathan Rourke has been as good as people thought he was going to be. Rick Campbell's gone on record saying he's going to be the starter the rest of the season. I don't know if that's the right decision, but he does have a focus there So, he's not going to be asked that question all that much. It's just, I don't think the big guys have been that great. Their offensive line hasn't provided great protection, hasn't given the quarterbacks, whether it be Vernon Adams or Nathan Rourke, a whole lot of time. And you talk to people who know a lot more about football than I do, not as much as you guys, but as I do. And they'll tell you that he's just not getting enough time, that they're not, the offensive line isn't doing it's not good enough to get to the Grey Cup, which was the whole goal for the Lions this year. The last two games, and if I can veer off a bit here, it's something that's not supposed to happen. When teams come to Vancouver and they have a 7:00 start, it's 10:00 back east. I'm talking about Eastern teams coming here, and they've blown 2 games in the second half, in particular that game against Hamilton, where you're up 60-0 at the half. You've got a significant lead in the fourth quarter, and they come back and win. That's not the mark of a team forget the Grey Cup. They were in danger of missing the playoffs, and you're just not supposed to do that. But I really think it starts getting back to what I was saying earlier. It starts with that offensive line. And I just don't think there's enough time there for Nathan Rourke or Vernon Adams or anybody to do anything special.
Don, this has been fantastic. I know we launched our show in September, and you're always at the top of our list, especially for my guy Joaquin here. So I'm so glad. I know you just wrapped up your show. Just tell our listeners where they can watch your stuff and what time and all that.
We're on Chek TV in Victoria. We actually do the show out of Vancouver, but we're on Chek TV in Victoria. It was a station I grew up watching as a kid. And as you guys know, I'm at a stage of my career where I've been laid off 450 times. And Chek TV does a great job of hiring old, out-of-work broadcasters. So I'm really... You can look it up. It's got quite the reputation for doing that. But thank God that they've done that. And we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, Facebook, you name it. We've got it all covered social media wise, and it's just been a really good experience. And I got to say, guys, that hats off to what you've done up in Edmonton. I know the former sports station got some bad news, and you guys have been able to regroup. And I just love it when I see, people creating broadcasting jobs out there, because they seem to be few and far between. But, hats off to Chek TV and what you've done in Edmonton. It's just been fabulous.
Don, thank you so much. I hope to have you on during the season. We can talk about a Lions appearance in the Grey Cup, and we can talk about the battles between the Oilers and Canucks.
Yeah, anytime, guys.
All right. Thanks a lot, Don.
You bet. Thank you.
Don Taylor there from the Donnie and Dhali show on Chek TV. What a beauty.
Oh, my mom, again, is going to go nuts that I was talking to Don Taylor. It's crazy.
Like
absolutely
he is.
Crazy. He's that, most people here, and it's Dutch was their guy, right?
Dutchy, yeah.
Dutchy was their guy. And for all the kids in the lower mainland watching sports late at night, it was Don Taylor. Oh. And even Shorthouse too. Like those two were great.
I like Shorthouse.
Shorthouse is hilarious.
Yeah, he's great.
I still remember his, there were some funny snippets with both of them. And I think I mentioned this already, but the NBA coach looked a little worse for wear in a little snippet, and Shorthouse mentions the coach's name, blah blah blah, and looks like he lost the battle with wild turkey last night. Like they could say things like that back then. It was great. It was just awesome.
Yeah, no, that's got to go up there for one of our top guests.
Yeah,
he's just, I know he wrapped up his show at 1 our time. So it was just
thanks.
You know what's cool though? He asked me since week 1, like, we got to get Don Taylor. So I threw some emails out there. I got a response right away. And the funny thing is, like, I'm not going to tell him. This was yesterday. I'm not going to tell him till tomorrow. And then he's like, "What's up, man?" Like, we're just chilling. And the first time you didn't hear me, I was like, "We got Don Taylor." You started talking with Jay or Tommy.
I didn't hear
you? And then you're like, "So who's on the show?" I'm like, "Don Taylor." You're like, "Wait, what?" I was just sending him DMs and emails.
That's great. No, yeah, it's awesome. Just awesome.
Yeah, no. So big shout out to Don Taylor for taking some time after his show to join us. This one says a lot of people chiming in on. I don't even want to go into this, open this can of worms, but Ethan Bear.
Oh my gosh.
Let me read it during the break and we'll see if we're going to go there.
Yeah.
A bunch of people in the nasty chat are arguing about it. So we'll wait on that. No, I haven't touched Gager yet this segment. So that's.
No, but someone else was talking. Wait till Hernan starts rolling here and he'll touch me for sure. A lot of touching.
Lots of touching. Of course, we're coming to you live from South Fort Chevrolet here in Fort Saskatchewan. Just a heads up, the Fort Saskatchewan AAA under-17 team will be on site helping with the barbecue. Listeners can see how they stack up against them in the Slapshot radar booth that they have set up just outside, right beside the grills. Also, the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Sask will be on site and are accepting donations for their youth sports programming. They're in need of school snacks for the kids that partake in their program. And stop by. You can have a German pretzel, which is fantastic, Gager. The bratwurst is really good. And great sales and discounts throughout the day here in the showroom and out there on the lot. Bratwurst or pretzel, which one did you? They were both fantastic.
I did both. I took down both.
Preference?
No, preference. No, I just both.
Okay.
Preference is having both. That's what my preference is.
We got Big Uke in the house, Tommy Gazzola, Jay Milne hanging out as well. Coming up next, we're gonna talk about this weird little thing that was dropped this Amazon series that everybody's watching already and throwing tidbits out, but that Connor McDavid is scared of ketchup. Like the wife has to order it like secretly when they go out to restaurants and all that, Gager, which I find very, very weird. We'll talk about the maybe our first cars that we ever purchased at a dealership or in general.
If we get to 50 thumbs up, I'll say my car selling pitch to someone. Okay.
Oh, perfect.
So
Sales pitch from Joaquin Gage. We're at 38 thumbs up. If we get to 50, that's coming up next. And we're going to promote a new segment. And I kind of want Zach's input on this and the listeners because we haven't finalized it yet, but the smoke and heat segment that we want to kick off here, similar to what we did back at the old station Crossfire. Remember? Pew, pew, pew. Anyway, that's all coming up. And of course, the EST Flyway to LA presented by the 780. This is EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk. Joaquin Gage and Hernan Salas. But right now, let's get to a sports update with Zachticum.
The Oilers find themselves out in Vancouver for one last preseason game against the Canucks at 8 o'clock, and Derek Ryan has been announced as day-to-day, but you can join Hernan Salas and Tom Gazzola for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 o'clock, right here and only here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Elsewhere, the Flames battle the Jets, the Senators face the Red Wings, and the Wild play the Blackhawks. NHL regular season has started with the Devils and the Sabres out in Prague. The Devils lead the Sabres 4-1 late in the third with Owen Powers scoring the lone goal for the Sabres. In the CFL, it's the Blue Bombers and Ticats going at it with the Stamps and the Lions. After that, tomorrow the Elks play the Riders with Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne live for the Green and Gold kickoff show at 4 o'clock. Kickoff for that one is at 5. NFL injuries see Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants, David Njoku questionable with a chance to play for the Browns, and Zamir White doubtful for the Raiders. Right after the break, EST Afternoons continues. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and now you're up to date.
The Ranch lets it all hang out with a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at the Ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always the Ranch. The Ranch Golf and Country Club. 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. TheRanchGolf.com.
780 is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton, 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Where's
We're back here on EST Afternoons. No one's teeing us up, so we're just raw dogging it right now. EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage beside me. I will not pat him on the shoulder because we're, I think, about at 6 touches, and I think the over-under was, what, 10, 12?
Oh, yeah. No. I think it was 40.
Oh, man. We got this to the inbox. Says, hello, Kate. You sound super young. I can relate. Don't worry. It'll be great when we're 65 and look, sound 30.
Wow. That's not putting the number in right. I don't want to say the name just in case, but yeah, make sure you got you're texting the right person before you text the inbox.
Yes.
Or maybe we're changing things around here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're only at 43 thumbs up, so you will not hear Joaquin Gage's sales pitch for a brand new vehicle until we hit 50, and let's get those watch numbers up as well. McDavid's scared of ketchup. You find that weird?
What?
That he's scared?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean scared? Like, does he not? Well, obviously he doesn't like it, but like, scared is an interesting word that was used.
I don't think any food actually scares me unless it's still alive. You know, like if it's still moving, maybe that frightens me a bit. But you know me, buddy. I'll try anything once, and that's weird to have something like that be scary for him. You'd think he'd be fearless.
Is there a least favorite condiment you have?
I wonder what, like, because I mean, obviously, going to the hotel, having meals and stuff. I'm sure there's ketchup in the dressing room. Does he like? Do people put ketchup in his stall? And
like, does he see a bottle and just get freaked out and run?
Maybe. Maybe he had a poor experience as a child. And
are you a big ketchup guy? Do you put that on everything?
No. I mix it. I go with the pink sauce. I'll go mayo, ketchup.
Oh yeah.
And I've gotten into pickling my own pickles.
Okay.
So I make my own pickles essentially now, and I chopped all those up and put it in there. So it's like it's a little nice little. It's kind of like a Big Mac sauce with pickles already in it.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of if there's a condiment I don't like. I don't think there's one, Gage. There's probably ones I don't like as much as others, but
when I was in Sweden, a lot of the there's a lot of fish roe, like fish eggs.
Okay.
And I'll still eat it. Like, but if you were at IKEA or whatever and you grab the Calais fish roe, it's really salty, but on a cracker, you know, it's still quite good.
Yes.
And but yeah, I'm trying to think what condiment that really I don't like. And again, I don't have one.
Yeah.
I don't think
I'm not.
If you have one, let us know if there's a condiment that you find disgusting. 780-218-9999, and you can or in the nasty chat, let us know.
Like my girlfriend is afraid of mayo. She
really?
hates it. Yeah, hates it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like mayo.
So do I.
Yeah.
Another McFan says, I know someone who's borderline scared of ketchup. Buckaroo says, my daughter calls that her mayo chup. Yeah, because you mix it up. It's good. And it's good with chips too, like regular, like the Ruffles and all that.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this. We're here at South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan. I sold cars for a year.
Did you?
Yeah, in my mid-20s. I was terrible at it because I I didn't, I think to sell cars, you got to know a little bit about cars. I didn't know squat about cars.
Yeah.
I knew the price and where the gas went, and that's about it. And, we're here in Alberta, and people are like, what's the torque on this truck? I'd be like, I don't know.
Oh, there's a lot.
So my manager would be like, just don't lie. Just say you'll find out for them. But I had to find out a lot of things because I didn't know squat. And I don't know how I lasted for a year, Gager, I'll be honest. And I did sell my fair share of cars, but I just don't know how. But my first car ever I bought private sale, okay? $1,500. It was a nice little it was a Nissan Sentra. But like old school. It's really cool for a young guy. On the 4th day, the tranny blew. All right. So then, like, my cousin kind of came with me, and he's like, no, we're going to get your money back. And the guy's like, hey, I wrote as is, so, like, it's not on me anymore. And I was lucky enough that a mechanic gave me $1,500 to keep my bad car with a blown transmission because they get it for parts and all that. And my first car ever purchased at a dealership, and I was young, so I had no credit. So when you have no credit, your interest rate's really high. I bought a Toyota Echo.
Oh, yeah.
And I got chirped by all my buddies because it's a small car, right? They're like, that's not a man's car. And I was just happy to get around.
A to B, baby.
For $15, I'd fill my tag. So Toyota Echo was my first. Is it Toyota Echo?
Yeah, Toyota. Yeah. I think so.
What was your first purchase at a dealership?
Well, I was hit by a car when I was really, really young. Surprise. And there was a little bit of a settlement. And when I turned 18, I got some money. And
hold on, can you hold on? What do you mean you got hit by a car?
Well, we were coming down. I think it's not Georgia. I forget the name of the street in Vancouver, but it was downtown, and we're going down a one-way. Or maybe it was Robson. I don't know. And car turned onto a one-way street and just hit us. And I hit the. It was back then. I don't think there were seatbelts in there. I hit the windshield or whatever and stuff. You can still kind of see the scar up here, but it was pretty bad actually. And so with the money, my dad was able to. We got a '89 4Runner, which was great because that was the last year that it was a convertible. Like the back actually came off and it was a big roll bar.
Yeah.
So me and my buddies cruising Kitts Beach with that thing. That was a lot of fun.
Okay. Interesting. I'm always intrigued by everybody's first vehicle because it's usually not what you want.
Oh, this was what I wanted.
Oh, okay.
This was. I mean, it was.
I can tell you the Echo was not what I wanted.
It was great, man. A big 4. It was a standard, right? So, fun to always fun to drive standard. And I had to drive that thing that's what I used playing junior all over. So
nice.
It was great, man.
Just nice and efficient.
Yeah.
And, the first car I ever bought that I got a truck. I got a Dodge.
Nice.
Yeah. Then I got written off about 2 years after.
Jesus.
Yeah. Let's get to the nasty chat here. It says here, Ryan Hodgins, we need a stalking Connor episode with mess and ketchup.
That's good.
T. Wilson says blue cheese is effing disgusting. Joel says, is cottage cheese a condiment?
Love cottage cheese.
Sure, let's just call it that. X-Ray J says, I eat spiders because I refuse to be intimidated by food. Zedmo, ketchup on a burger or a smoky, but not much else. Grilled cheese sandwich, maybe from Zedmo as well. Alberta Shank says, odd show.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about Gage getting hit by a car. A story that I'm surprised none of us have heard up to yet. Yeah, we're at 54 thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to do your sales pitch?
I guess I got to do
Here we go.
Right? So if you come into that, like, and say, oh, what's under the hood? So I would probably be like, well, let me tell you what Melbatos is packing here, right? We got 411 Positrack Outback, 750 double pumper, Elbrock intake, board over 30, 11-1 pop-up piston, turbojet, 390 horsepower. We're talking muscle.
I think I've heard that before.
That was my pitch. Tell me you're not going to buy a car after that.
I may be wrong. What is that? That's from a movie? No?
Yeah.
Dazed and Confused?
Yeah. Yeah. So the story, former Oiler and Greg DeVries, I think we watch that every night. And somehow we memorized that.
Yeah.
And I still, to this day, know that line from McConaughey when he talks about his muscle car.
And the other guy's just not impressed?
Yeah. I think he says something about Those are pizza cutter tires. Those are or something like that. So. Sold. X-Ray J. Sold. Exactly.
Spency 5 cents. He says Michelle Lesko has the world record for mayo eating, 2.4 kilograms of mayo in 3 minutes.
That's gross.
That's about 3.5 jars. That is truly amazing. X-Ray J says, I drive a Kia Rio SLX. See, and that's the thing. Like, I don't even know what, like, on the morning show, they're like, well, it depends. We can finance you. Depends on the trim. Like, I don't even know what that means.
So, yeah, that's good. I mean, this ZR2 Chevy Colorado.
ZR2
Bison.
They don't say Z here.
Oh, ZR2. Okay,
Yeah.
ZR2 Bison. This thing's gorgeous. I mean, it's a nice truck.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I like the Corvette on the other side, though.
I think that's the only car I can fit in too. Like for sports cars, like
Well,
I can't fit in a thing.
But Dusty was trying to get in. Well, he's too big.
6'6".
Yeah, he's 6'6". Well, there's no way.
I'm only 6'2". So
Keep those coming in. The first car you bought at a dealership, and was it the one you wanted? Because for Gager it was, for me it wasn't. What condiments scare you? Because Connor McDavid is apparently scared of ketchup and the smoking heat. Gager, we were talking about it a bit. I don't know if Zach can join us. Zach, are you there?
Yes, I am.
No.
What?
Smoking heat. So back at the old station, we should do something called Crossfire. You would ask me 3 questions. I'd ask you 3 questions. We'd kind of go off like that. And it was just a fun segment. We'd do 1 Oiler question, 1 hockey question, and then 1 question about anything. It could be movies, life, anything like that. You would bring the smoke. I would bring the heat. But we got to find a way to incorporate our producer, Zachticum.
yeah.
Hello?
I mean, he can. You know
guys
what? Today coming, I had to go I did the CFR, the pancake breakfast this morning with a few other Oiler legends. Not saying I'm a legend, but
you are.
Doug Hicks and Charlie Huddy were down there. Watch your toes because I'm dropping names. It was going, and the Clausen and Zachticum rap song came on, and I was going down, and I was just like, wow. And if you can hear me, I wanted to say this to you. I hadn't heard it in the car yet, so car speakers are a little bit different. You got the sound blasting, and I actually turned it up in my car. It sounded unbelievable. And Zach, Josh, I know you're listening to, unbelievable job. That does, it belongs regularly on an FM dial. Somewhere.
It's a banger. Man.
It's a great song.
Yeah. So I don't like Zach. People are like, we hear you, Zach. Ha ha ha. I hear you, Zachary. And I don't know if that's maybe we have to bring him up here at our port.
Oh, maybe it's
hold on, Zach. Are you there?
Yeah, when people don't know how to produce, hey?
Maybe it's that one.
I'm just going to talk smack on them until they can hear me. There we go.
Buddy?
There we go.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was
learning
talking.
on the fly.
Right? I was going to say, people who don't know how to produce, but no, you figured it out.
Hey, we don't know how to produce.
Oh, I don't either. I rely on Maddie.
It took us about three tries to figure out that you were on which line you were on. How you doing back there, buddy?
Oh, I'm enjoying it. Me and Trev were having a heyday here. One of the sports updates, he was just sitting there because I don't know. I just want to have some fun, so I just had him just sit in the studio. We're enjoying it, doing it from on location, but it looks like a lot of fun down there, like all the snacks and everything like that. Just talking to people, even from the morning show and everything like that. And later, it's the U17 AAA Rangers are going to be out there. So I'm kind of jealous, but we're doing good.
Yeah. And you're going to be there with me later on for pregame show because you've seen how we've been trying to produce on our end. So I'm definitely going to need someone there to hold my hand, right?
Yeah, I'll be there for sure.
All right, buddy. We'll check in soon here. I'm just going to give you some Vancouver Canucks lines for today. First line, Heinen, Miller, Besser. Pretty good. Second line, DeBrusk, Pettersson, Sprong. You like Sprong, right? Yeah.
Sprong is a really good player in your bottom 6 that can, on PP2, he's got a wicked shot.
Yeah. Third line, Hoglander. Is it Ratti?
Oh, it's a way to say it. I heard them say it. Yeah, don't even try.
And Garland,
Yeah.
another favorite of Gagers. And then your fourth line is Baines, Bluger, and Kiefer Sherwood, who had a little bit of jam the last time they played. I was kind of impressed with him. Defensively, it's going to be Hughes with Hronek. That's the top pair there. That's a very good pair. Susi with Myers and Derek Forbert. And Vinny Desharnais will be the third pair. Friedman and Juleson will be the odd man out, as will Amon there. This is going to be a pretty good game. And like Don Taylor said, Artur Shilovs.
Dude, that's
get
their
the
full.
start.
That's their lineup starting whenever they start. I'm not sure the day that is it. Everyone on Wednesday. I don't think they play Wednesday. This is a good test. Now you see a full NHL lineup. Those are three good lines.
Yeah.
When you read those off, that's plus when Garland. I would say over that full 7 games, he was probably the Canucks' best player. If you look at the overall, the whole, I mean, Miller was good too, but he kind of went dormant the last couple games. And Pettersson wasn't non-existent at all, really. So, man, that's I'll look forward to seeing this because those guys have not only played together before, but even the fourth line. Those are some names that watching last game played quite well.
I'm going to ask this because our listeners are so loyal and they're talking about it on the net chat, and I just want a simple yes or no. Ethan Bear's landed on waivers. Do you even look at that player?
What?
No, because the money doesn't work. It's 2.1, I think.
Yeah, but why do you want a player that can't play in the NHL? He's gone to how many different teams now? And he couldn't play here, and he can't play anywhere else. So unfortunately, it happens with players, even really good players. They just can't figure it out what it takes to get to that next kind of step. And
I think it's because he shoots right. That's the only reason. Let's be honest here.
I don't know. I know there's a lot of love for Ethan Bear because he was a huge part of the community here, and I understand that. But again, this is unfortunately, it's a results-driven business, and it just wasn't working out.
And before we get to break here, some sad news. Chris Johnson from TSN reporting Jack Campbell has entered the NHLPA player assistant program and will be away from the Red Wings for an indefinite period of time. Wishing him the best. That's sad. Seems he just didn't go his way since he signed with Edmonton.
No, and you heard there was rumblings that it was very difficult for him, getting sent down in the way
of course
the last season went. And man, I just, the thing with Jack Campbell, a lot of it was he's so hard on himself, and I realize that I did it myself. Losses affected me way more than wins, and it should have been the other way around. But you have to have the ability to just throw things in the rear view mirror. Once it's done, it's done. You can't do anything about it, and it's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, and hopefully he can get the help he needs and go out on his own terms, and that's playing in the AHL or the NHL. Because overall, it seemed like he was a really good guy. He just could never make it work here in Edmonton. That wraps up hour one. Great stuff. You heard Gager's pitch to sell you a car. Don Taylor from the Donnie and Dhali show joined us as well. He was absolutely fantastic. We've talked a lot of Oilers. In the second hour, we're going to give away we're going to get another qualifier for the EST Flyaway to LA presented by the 780. Also, Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic will join us to talk Oilers and Elks. Rookie wide receiver getting his second start on Saturday, Zach Mathis at 240. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement. retirement.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
The Oilers are out in Vancouver against the Canucks for preseason action tonight at 8 o'clock, and Derek Ryan has been announced as day-to-day for the team. You can join Hernan Salas and Tom Gazzola for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 o'clock, live only here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Red Wings goaltender Jack Campbell has entered the NHL Player Assistant Program and will be away for an indefinite amount of time. Last year for the Bakersfield Condors, Campbell played 33 games and was good for a .918 save percentage with a record of 18-13-1. Elsewhere, the Flames battle the Jets. The Senators face the Red Wings, and the Wild play the Blackhawks. The lone NHL regular season game today saw the Devils beating the Sabres 4-1 in Prague. In the CFL, it's the Blue Bombers and Ticats going at it with the Stamps and Lions after that. Tomorrow, the Elks play the Riders with Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne live for the Green and Gold kickoff show at 4 o'clock. Kickoff for that game is at 5. NFL injuries see Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson as questionable. Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants. David Njoku with a chance to play for the Browns, and Zamir White doubtful for the Raiders. EST Afternoons continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
I'm running in circles with the hopes that I will find what I'm searching for, but the question is where.
We're back here on EST Afternoons for Edmonton Sports Talk. Keep the nasty chat humming along nicely right now. A lot of chatter about a lot of different things, cars, condiments, some sad news about Jack Campbell, and for some reason we're talking about Ethan Bear today. And, it's not going to happen, other fans, so let's move on. We're coming to you live from South Fort Chevrolet here in Fort Saskatchewan. Just some notes here. They do have pretzels and bratwurst here, so come by and try them out because they are absolutely fantastic. They got great sales and discounts throughout the day. Also, the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Sask will be on site, and they are accepting donations for their youth sports programming. They're in need of school snacks for the kids that partake in their program. And the Fort Sask AAA Under-17 team will be on site helping out with the barbecues, and listeners can see how they stack up against them in the Slapshot Raider booth that they have set up right beside the grills there. It's pretty fun being out here.
What were you clocking them at?
Not, I think 40. I think Dusty hit like 80.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my, wow.
I haven't taken a slap shot in decades.
Oh, okay. I wonder what I would pull off.
Try it after.
Maybe. I don't want to embarrass everybody.
You are a former NHLer, so
yeah, but
I would assume you would have to hit 100
with my wrist shot.
If Dusty's hitting 88, no, I think he was 88, around close to 100. You got to beat Dusty.
I should be able to beat Dusty.
You're a lefty.
Yeah,
I'm a righty. So
play D.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's get to KJ, what do you want to get to here? We can talk some. The Thursday nighter was fantastic.
Thursday nighter was good.
I feel bad for the Bucks. Well, I don't feel bad, but they could have closed that out. They had the ball with like 144 first down.
I told you we should that game had some juice.
Had some juice. I didn't believe in it. I didn't believe in it, but Kirk Cousins threw for 509 yards, 4 touchdowns. 36-30 win over the Buccaneers. It was a wild fourth quarter, blocked field goal, a fumble, and an interception. And then the Falcons get the ball back at their own 20. We're on 14 remaining and no timeouts, and they find a way, which is really good for the Atlanta Falcons. That Kirk Cousins is that quarterback that he's I don't want to say game manager because that's not fair. He's a guy that's good in the regular season, could be good, but he'll never take you to the promised land.
You don't think so?
No.
I know everyone says that, but like, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. He is good during the regular season, right? Gives you a chance to get to the playoffs.
Sure.
But I mean, sometimes that's all you need, and is asking for a chance, right? Like, but maybe after last night's performance, that was a masterclass last night. He was unreal last night.
Yeah, it was funny because there's one certain media member in Canada absolutely despises Kirk Cousins. And he was chirping him right before that last drive. And then people started quoting at him like, delete, because he did lead him back. A few messages on our group chat. Tom Gazzola says it's Ratu.
Oh, Ratu. Yeah. No, it is. It is. It's weird. It's
even his first name's weird, so I don't even want to try to attempt it. Dustin Nielsen said he hit a high of 113 today on the slap shot.
He did not.
Well, he's
is that thing? Yeah, he switched it to kilometers. This is what happened, and then he switches it back to miles an hour. Kirk Cousins 509 yards, last 4 TDs.
I mean, that's
42 completions.
That's a great performance.
Well, that's unreal.
Yeah, it's unreal. So like, it's just Kirk Cousins. He's an older guy. He's got maybe a few years left. This one, Yeg the welder guy says Kirk Cousins equals Alex Smith. That's a good comparable.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Falcons are. I mean, what do you think of the NFL? I was thinking about this. The NFL with the amount of teams, like there's some bottom feeders in the NFL, right? And I was hearing rumblings again of the NHL, or maybe it was last time, of like expansion and things like that.
It's too watered down, then, right?
It's too watered down. Like it's still, after all this, the NFL still hasn't gotten to a place where there's a lot of parity throughout the league, right? And I would say the NHL, out of all the top professional leagues, has the most parity. Like there's not you still have some bottom feeders, but I think if you were to expand now, you would definitely have 3 or 4 teams, maybe more in the NHL, that would take forever, if ever, get to a point where they're challenging for playoff spots and consistently and Stanley Cups.
But it's also like because the misconception is that the CFL's Bush League, the NFL's the greatest. But if you watch every single NFL game on a Sunday, there's probably 3 good ones.
Yeah,
the rest are gods.
They're terrible.
And there's some terrible quarterbacks too.
Yeah,
and listen, I get the argument for I was going to say Curtis Rourke. What's his first name again? I'm trying to. Nathan Rourke. There we go. Bratwurst's got me all scrambly up in the mind here, but. Nathan Rourke, I know a lot of people think he didn't get a fair shake, and he probably didn't. It's all about opportunity, but I'm also not sold that he's going to go in there and turn things around for a team and be this elite NFL quarterback. But it goes to show you, and I think that's the other side of the argument, is like, how does a guy like that not get an opportunity when you see some of these quarterbacks that are playing that are terrible?
Yeah, I mean, kind of with Chris Jones and and Trey Ford, we saw essentially a coach just going, no, this guy can't play. I think for a while, and Nathan Rourke was the same thing. And then, are you kidding me? And you hear what the funny thing is most American guys that come up, and if they eventually play in the CFL, how many, like we've had a few guys on this year already. Each one has said, I wish I would have known about this earlier.
Yeah.
And it's not well known. And I kind of equate it to a little bit to a hockey player going to Europe. You're giving up on the dream if you're North American anyways. If you're not, but then you get over there and go, oh my gosh, this is it's a different way to play depending on the country, obviously.
But it is still highly competitive, and you can't just go over there and throw your stick out and expect to dominate. So
it's because I've heard Mark Trestman say it, who coached in both leagues. I've heard Ricky Ray say it, Calvillo. It's all about opportunity. You just got to find the right GM or coach that's willing to give you a look. Because a lot of these guys, like Nathan Rourke, never got a look. Like, he played in some preseason games, was brilliant in the fourth quarter in one game, I remember. But then the Jags coach came out and said, well, our second stringer, I can't remember his name. He used to be with the Niners, but he was terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're ignoring what the preseason is for, is to show you what these players can do. And you're ignoring that because this guy's been in the NFL since day one, and this guy's coming from Canada.
That's the big mark against. And even, I mean, if we want to go all the way back to Flutie, too small, can't do it. Oh, okay, so he did it okay in the CFL. But then how hard was it for them to put him in? Like, someone had to break both their legs. Like
Jeff Garcia.
Jeff Garcia. And he was a pretty good quarterback.
Oh, he was awesome.
He was great.
Yeah.
Had how many years with the Niners did he have? 2, 3?
More than that. He was, and it's funny because I hated him with the Stamps. And when I know Niners, I was like, man, this guy's awesome. But he played on the Eagles. He played on a bunch of teams and was a legit starter.
Yeah.
And that's why when everybody's so high on Nathan Rourke, and I understand that he had an amazing season, but you're seeing this year, it's taking him a little bit to get going because BC can't find their groove right now.
You got to forget he hasn't played in a couple of years too.
And you heard Don Taylor said, he goes, they've named him their quarterback for the rest of the season. He goes, and I don't agree with that. So there's a controversy there too. Where
they have Vernon Adams too. Right? This guy was the mop.
Yeah, the mop.
Yeah, the mop was
before he got hurt.
So
that's interesting. I mean, that controversy is bigger than the one here because the Elks are one loss away from kind of being eliminated here, and you have a veteran and a young guy. It's a veteran and a young guy, but both guys are playing at a high level. Like you said, he was the mob. But when I look at a guy like Nathan Rourke, for me, Ricky Ray's the best ever in the CFL.
Okay,
right? And he never got a lick in the NFL. He didn't. He went to the Jets and never played, and he came back right away. And so I'm saying, like, everybody's saying, oh, Nathan Rourke, they're not giving it over. But there was guys before him, Calvillo, Bo Levi, Ricky Ray. And those guys, I think, are still better. They've done more.
Yeah. Hey, look, there's been some great quarterbacks in this, like Damon Allen, like
Tracy Ham,
like,
Dave Dickinson, who had a stint in the NFL.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I know I go back to this a lot, but Ocho Cinco, it always pops up. His little
these guys were ballers.
These
down
guys,
there.
he says it. He thought he was going to come up here
and dominate.
And dominate.
Yeah,
right. And he was like, and didn't he have to leave? Like he couldn't hack it.
And this wasn't just a regular receiver in the NFL who had some success. He was at times one of the best. He changed his
top
name.
5 at certain points, top 5.
Exactly.
Receivers in the NFL.
Now, he came over older, not in his prime, but he still couldn't hack it.
No.
Ricky Williams came over.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's where I hate that comparison where if you like the NFL, you can't like the CFL. These guys are all talented. You look at the Elks, Dylan Mitchell, Gager, he has all-time numbers at Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a small school.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So I look at it sometimes, and it's similar to a lot of the guys that end up here. Is for certain there's issues, right? Not all of them, but some. It's kind of back and forth. But you know what I found funny? There's a few guys, I won't say a lot, but a few guys that were with NFL teams for like practice squad, and you came down here, and you can tell they were a little machismo, like I'm too good to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I won't mention them by name. This was last year, and I was just like, pump the brakes. There's a reason why you're here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so.
And it's fine to do that, but back it up, right? You have to back that stuff up if you're going to be a little bit more self-assured coming into a league and doing that, right? Like, I've had some guys get sent to the minors and stuff, and even players that came over to Europe and would come to a place, and you're just like, just wait till the season starts, you know? You're like, yeah, pump the brakes. Like, you're not going to be a 50 50 guy here. Like that's how they're talking.
That's
right?
not going to happen. But it's funny how that world works, and you get to see it. And I saw it a lot at the CFL level. And I wish I could have that clip of Nick Anderson for everybody that chirps the CFL.
Yeah,
because he's probably going to win the Elks Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
He's top 5 in tackles, and he told us on our show, I wish I would, because he got offered a contract last year, and he said no.
Yeah. But it's kind of given up on the dream, though, and I understand that point, but it.
Or could it be something like a springboard back to the NFL? A lot of guys look at it that way too.
You get eyes on you.
100%.
I mean, how many? You would know this better. Are there a lot of the beginning of the season when the CFL starts? Are there NFL eyes on guys?
Sure. Yeah, because I remember Kevin Brown, he came over in 2022, like right before the Labor Day series, and he didn't come over earlier because he was doing NFL camps and visits and all that.
Okay, yeah.
So a lot of guys will come up later. Dylan Mitchell came up also, I think, in late July and August because they're always waiting for that opportunity. Right. Then they come down here and they can make a name for themselves and they can make decent money and they can get eyes on them more than if they're just sitting at home, right?
Well, I think why wouldn't you, right? Instead of, and I understand it, but I was always like, what is Nathan Rourke doing sitting on a practice squad, being so far down on the depth chart where you're not even, something miraculous would have to happen for him to get in. Again, it would be like pneumonia, 2 broken legs, and some maybe a cat dying for him to get in.
I would have loved to see Nathan Rourke in a regular season game just to see what he can do because the people that love him think that he would be a starter and do really well, and he might, but we'll never know now. Now, because he signed a long-term deal with the BC Lions, he might want to go back and try his luck again, maybe in 2-3 years. We'll wait and see on that. But until then, it's going to be interesting to see Nathan Rourke, and I think they're going to win tonight against Calgary, and they're just going to make it that much tougher on the Elks tomorrow. We'll get to some more Elks talk.
Sonny D, Dusty hit 113, maybe on the way home in his car. That's the only way he's hitting 113.
113, but Dusty said KMs.
Oh, yeah, again, in his car, but maybe.
Yeah, we got to get to the keyword here for the EST flyaway to LA, which is proudly presented by the 780s. 780 is a homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. We're going to bring in Zach here so you can give us the keyword. You got to text it in. Zach will get someone. Zach, you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you give us the keyword for today?
Yeah, well, it's more of an acronym than a word. LAFC. So text in LAFC to 780-218-9999 for a chance to be a qualifier.
Thank you, buddy. On the other side of the break, we'll get our qualifier on the line, and we'll be joined by Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic as we tee up the Oilers' final preseason game against the Vancouver Canucks. But first up, here is Zachticum with a sports update.
Stuart Skinner gets a start for the Oilers' final preseason game against the Canucks tonight at 8. Join Hernan Salas and Tom Gazzola for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 o'clock right here and only here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Red Wings goaltender Jack Campbell enters the NHL Player Assistant Program and will be away for an indefinite amount of time. Last year on the Condors in the AHL, Campbell played 33 games, posing an 18-13-1 record, as well as a .918 save percentage. Elsewhere, the Flames battle the Jets. The Senators face the Red Wings, and the Wild play the Blackhawks. The lone NHL regular season game today saw the Devils beating the Sabres 4-1 in Prague. Over in the NFL, it's the Blue Bombers and the Ticats going at it with the Stamps and Lions later tonight. Tomorrow, the Elks play the Riders with Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne live for the Green and Gold kickoff show at 4 o'clock. Kickoff for that one is at 5. NFL injuries see Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson as questionable. Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants. David Njoku questionable with the chance to play for the Browns. Zamir White doubtful for the Raiders. And Micah Parsons out for the Cowboys. Right after the break, we will bring on a qualifier for the EST Flyway to LA and speak with Daniel Nugent-Bowman. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and now you're up to date.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg, Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper. It deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit The Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Come get your game on at The Ranch. The Ranch lets it all hang out with a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun, laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at The Ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always The Ranch. The Ranch Golf and Country Club. 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. The Ranch Golf.
Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Static free since 23. It's Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas coming to you live from South Fort Chevrolet here. We'll just mute that. Zach's working on our qualifier gauger, and then we'll get to Daniel Nugent-Bowman and talk some Oilers. Some sad news, obviously, coming from the NHL as Jack Campbell has entered the assistant program from the NHL and NHLBA. He'll be away from the Red Wings for an indefinite period of time. I think everybody here in Oilerland wishes him the best. Gauger, a guy that signed here a few years ago, a big ticket, $5 million for 5 years, was supposed to be the number one guy for I think 2-3 years, and let Stuart Skinner kind of be that 1B guy. And then things didn't work out that way, and it's a little unfortunate for Jack Campbell. We hope he can get back to playing and go out on his own terms, but I know this. I when they did the signing, I wasn't upset about it, but I wasn't really high on it. I know you really like Jack Campbell, what he was doing in Toronto before coming to Edmonton.
Yeah, I mean, again, the eyes that I had on those games, he was always fantastic.
Yeah.
And watching when he first came in, I think he won like 12 games in a row, and when you look at the 2 playoff series that he was involved in with the Maple Leafs, going to game 7s, I think both times, and coming up a little short, I'm hard pressed to see. Maybe you would have liked one more save in certain cases, but I mean, you still got to score a little bit too. There were some close games in there, and I felt that at his age, getting to the NHL, and just being a journeyman for the better part, realizing where he's at, some of the success that he's had. He's no stranger to a market that watches your every move.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll talk about goals you let in warm up in Toronto, right? So,
yes,
I thought just coming to Edmonton would be a nice change of scenery with the personnel involved for him to really excel. But sometimes you put a little bit too much pressure on yourself. At times I thought when he was at his best, he was letting the game come to him, looking pretty relaxed in there. And it just anytime something bad happened, it would always snowball. Even when he'd play good, it would be like a third period where the other team would come back, and so the confidence level just
it was tough. Yeah. We got our qualifier on the line. Berlando, are you there?
Yep. Yeah,
How
I'm
you
here.
doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, but what a way to close out your Friday, qualifying for flight for 2 to LA with hotel and rental car. The trip will run through December 26th through December 30th. You'll get to go to Clipper Warriors, Rams, Cardinals, and you'll watch the Edmonton Hockey Club in either Anaheim or LA. You ever watched the good old Oil on the road there, Berlando?
I have. I actually got to go to 2 years ago when Edmonton clinched against LA in that first round. I was at that game.
That must have been wild. Who would you take if you win this trip?
Ask the wife first, and then if she doesn't want to go, then I'll probably take my brother, since I owe him one for taking me to watch the 49ers beat Green Bay last year in the playoffs.
Wait, are you a Niners fan?
I am.
Oh, you just jumped onto the top of the list for the qualifiers here, Berlando. all the best, my friend. Qualifier would the winner actually is selected on November 29th during the morning show. So all the best, and enjoy the rest of enjoy the beginning of your weekend, and we'll make sure to tune in on Monday.
Awesome, thank you.
It's Berlando, our latest qualifier for the EST flyaway to LA, which is proudly presented by the 780. The 780 is a homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all unique things to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, or the Outlet Mall by the airport. Have you seen their stuff, Gage? It's pretty cool. I've been in their store a few times.
Yeah.
I
haven't been yet, so I have to.
No, it's absolutely great, and I know Dusty asked for some t-shirt
Swag.
sizes, so
I know.
I'm a little excited.
Yeah, can't wait to see you in a boys extra small.
Hey, I got a large.
Boys large, awesome.
It was Tommy who was asking for the medium
right.
and the medium.
Yeah. I thought it was a half shirt for Tommy. No, show the midriff.
Show the little bit of the stomach and belly button there.
Show off his belly button ring. It's awesome.
We're just waiting for Daniel Nugent-Bowman. Zach's gonna let me know once he's ready to go on the line here.
Did we talk about the lineup for? I probably did on the oil stream, but the Oilers lines at morning skates. So we have McDavid between Hyman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Draisaitl centering Arvidsson and Skinner, Enrique with Brown and Janmark, and Philp with Perry and Podkolzin on D. Everything kind of stays the same with Ekholm and Bouchard, Nurse, Emberson, Kulak, and Stetcher. Looks like Dermott and Brown are the odd men out, with Stewie Skins getting the whole game against kind of almost a rematch of Game 7 last year with the both lineups.
Both teams go out there, do your thing. Don't get hurt. Let's start the regular season off with both teams fully healthy. Well, for Vancouver, you know what that means. No Thatcher Damco. But let's get to our Oiler guest of the day here. It's Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic. Daniel, how you doing this Friday afternoon?
Not bad. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Excited for the preseason to wrap up, and let's get going for real on Wednesday. But before we get to the game tonight and some roster stuff, Jack Campbell is entering the NHLPA Player Assistant Program. Some sad news. Jack Campbell, he signed that 5-year deal with the Edmonton Oilers a few years back. It just never worked out for him here, Daniel. But overall, it seemed like the players and the coaches all loved him. It's just too bad to see him kind of end up where he's ending up today.
Yeah, sorry, I'm having a little trouble. You guys are cutting out a little bit, but I think I understand where you're going with that or what your question might be. And yeah, Jack Campbell, I mean, I've covered this team. This is my 7th year, and he's just one of the nicest guys that I've covered, one of the most thoughtful guys that I've covered. I'll give you a little story. Obviously, very bad year and a bit, and gets sent down to the minor leagues. And our media colleague here, Mark Spector, and I went down to Bakersfield in early February to go and speak with Jack Campbell. normally in that situation, guys don't want to talk to reporters. They're not in a good place. They're not really happy about their lot in life. They're pro-life. Jack Campbell walks out, big smile, shakes my hand. We go into a private dressing room there. We talk for a little while. Some of the questions, he wasn't as forthright with and didn't want to answer them because, he whatever. But the ones that he did want to answer was really outgoing, gregarious. He was happy when we talked about his upcoming marriage and pets and things of that nature. Mark Spector had some car problems, and Jack Campbell goes and finds him and seeks him out. Or when he finds him, make sure to go and talk to him. So again, that's not something that an athlete in his lot and his playing career would normally do. So nothing but good things to say about Jack Campbell, the person, based on my experiences with him. And again, I hope for the best for him because. That's what you're hoping for anyone going in through that program, but certainly somebody who in Jack Campbell got to know a little bit over the last year and a bit. Hope that he gets his life and his hockey career turned around here.
Dan, the looking to tonight, is this a matchup, a future playoff matchup with these two teams?
Sorry, I've lost you there. I know you're talking about a potential, rematch from last year. If you guys want to go ahead and try that question again, I'll see what I can do. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry if you can hear me, Daniel. I was just asking: are we looking at a collision course with these two teams in the playoffs this year?
It's possible. I mean, you look at that division, and I think they're the best two teams. I think Edmonton is the best team. Vancouver, the only thing I'm a little wary about is a goaltending situation with Thatcher Demko. There's some changes on their defense, like the Oilers. They get former Oiler Vincent Desharnais. The Oilers have with Desharnais out and Cody Ceci and even Philip Broberg obviously have some changes to their right side of the defense too. But I think these are the two best teams. I would throw Vegas in there. As well, though I'd say Vegas has regressed a little bit, gotten older, lost Jonathan Marsh or so. But the division's not very strong. And that's where the door is wide open for the Oilers and the Canucks to really make some noise here this year. So, yeah, that was the divisional, championship series, if that's what you want to call it, in the second round last year, going to 7 games, obviously. You could foresee that happening again this year very easily.
Daniel, I know back in July when the Oilers signed Josh Brown, you tweeted out that you had talked to a source in Arizona, and just to put it nicely, I guess the response was that this player was not very good. He's had some struggles this preseason so far. What have you made of Josh Brown this preseason, and how do you see the Oilers handling kind of that third pair going forward here?
Well, I would say that he might make you miss Cody Ceci, to be honest. I don't think he's had a very good preseason. If he wasn't signed to a 3-year contract, I think he would be the odd man out. And quite frankly, there might be a way where he still could be the odd man out. But typically, teams don't sign guys to 3-year contracts. And don't give them any time in real games to show what they're all about. Josh Brown, I think there are some things they're hoping he can do well. I mean, the physicality part, certainly. Penalty killing, where they have lost Ceci and Vincent Desharnais, they're going to need some penalty killers, and I think they think he can slot into that role. But yeah, I mean, I in talking to somebody clearly, in that tweet, I thought it was a questionable signing at the time. The one good thing about it, if push have to come to shove and they have to do it, is you could bury that entire contract in the minor leagues without having a penalty on the cap at all. But again, when a team signs a guy to a 3-year contract, you tend to see them give that player some rope and see what he can do when the games are actually important in the standings. So, they've obviously been trying to work out some defense, different pairings in games. They've had Darnell Nurse be out up until this last game. Stecher coming in a little bit, trying to work in Ty Emerson. So, maybe the situation hasn't worked out, hasn't been a fair situation for Josh Brown. But again, I don't think he showed particularly well in the preseason. And there's a lot more that this player can do to kind of merit being in the lineup and being a key part of this defensive group.
So does that mean if the Oilers do end up sending Brown down and bearing the contract, or maybe it be for a limited time, is the signing of Travis Dermott kind of an inevitability? Jeez.
Yeah, I get my tongue twisted a lot too, so I got you there. I think it would be. There's a lot of familiarity with this player throughout the organization. Jeff Jackson was his former agent until he took this Oilers job. He and Connor McDavid are longtime friends, minor hockey teammates, junior teammates. The coach, Chris Knobloch, was his junior coach. He knows a bunch of guys, including the two that he's kind of battling for in that position in Brown and Stecher from Arizona. Has played with Connor Brown, and Zach Hyman in Toronto, and Vasily Podkolzin. So this team, they know him really well. He could play both sides of the defense. Travis Dermott, to me, is kind of just a steady all-around guy. I don't think anything really jumps off the page or the ice when you watch him play or kind of dig into the numbers or anything like that. But he's a serviceable kind of bottom pair defenseman, and he provides the versatility where he can play both sides. So that's where, you get into that where, you probably could assign this guy to a 1-year contract, certainly no more than 2 for less than $1 million a year. And that's what, again, makes that Josh Brown signing a little odd to me. But again, that when you go to Brown, I think you're looking at the physicality aspects and the penalty killing as they kind of see him as a Vincent Desharnais replacement for a cheaper cost. So, you know what? I think Travis Dermott's certainly in the running here to get a contract. Just how then it kind of makes the defense shake out is a little still unclear to me. The other one, obviously, that we've talked about, I've mentioned his name a couple times, is Troy Stecher. I mean, you could foresee a scenario where Dermott does get a contract, Brown stays on the team, and Troy Stecher gets waived, even though he's got a multi-year contract. So there's still that. I mean, those 3 guys, I think, are Dermott, Josh Brown, and Troy Stecher are certainly the guys that you're kind of watching out for in these last couple of days before rosters are due at 3:00 on Monday.
Daniel, the new show Amazon, it's kind of taking over everybody's lives right now, watching the Connor McDavid clips, and I guess there's a lot more. I think everybody's going to be tuning in this weekend. What did you make of the clip, and have you dipped into the show just yet?
I haven't watched the show yet. I've certainly seen the clip. You can't miss that. But I don't really read a lot or take a lot out of that. I mean, Connor McDavid is a longtime captain in this league. This is his 9th year as an NHL captain. And yeah, in the prime of his career, the closest he's ever gotten to what he's always dreamt of winning, and what he thinks he is missing to kind of cement his legacy as one of the all-time greatest players in league history. And things aren't going well in that series. I mean, I don't think we see that outwardly from McDavid, in interviews or, around town or however out in public. But behind closed doors, things are different. And I mean, I just think that's a leader doing what he should at that given time. I mean, was it handled perfectly? I don't know. But any guy that I've talked to about it, I've only talked to a couple, didn't think anything of it. I mean, I just don't think it's certainly a big deal. And I mean, when it's Connor McDavid, it becomes a big deal because it's Connor McDavid. But I found the clip to be, certainly intriguing because it is McDavid. But I didn't read too much into it, and I don't think it's quite as big a deal as it gets made out to be in social media circles.
No, for sure. Daniel, thank you for taking the time this afternoon. Have a great weekend as we get going for real on Wednesday. Enjoy the game tonight, and I'm sure we'll have you on shortly.
All right. Take care, guys. Have a nice weekend.
That's Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic. Great stuff on Josh Brown. I feel like he was almost holding back to a little bit.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And that's good. I mean, I appreciate that. I know it's a tough thing to talk about. And he put out the tweet when it got signed that a source had told him about this player. And I think how he opened it was, I think people are going to miss Cody Ceci. And I think that's perfect.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think inevitably you would see. I said it better that time. You were going to miss Cody Ceci at one point this year, anyways.
Yeah.
Again, you need a serviceable D-man, like a consistent. I would say that's used to playing about 20 minutes a night, right? Like you need that if you want to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen. Who was it? Taylor was talking. Don Taylor was talking earlier about. He just mentioned like Gonchar and Foot, and I mean, back in their heyday, that would have been a perfect
pair.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
like the aggressiveness of Foot, and Gonchar was no slouch himself.
Oh,
but he was phenomenal offensively. It was a disgusting joke what he was able to do. So, I mean, that's kind of the for them to say they're working with Desharnais that way, and then you look at the possible matchups. I don't know with who's going to play with Quinn Hughes. I know it's kind of set right now, but yeah, that's I think to a point. People will miss Vinny Desharnais a little bit. I mean, sure, he's on the third pair right now with Vancouver, but there's a guy that on the penalty kill, again, takes up a lot of space, has a good stick, is very aggressive. When you go into the corner with Vinny Desharnais, you've been in the corner.
And he's he's better than what they have right now, at least for now.
And then, I want to see it in full.
Sure.
Full time.
That's fair.
Let's reserve our judgments on Brown, because really, who's been good, like really outstanding in this whole slog of a preseason here on the Oilers. I mean, I can't really. There's been little bits here and there, but no one's been really like wow.
Yeah.
Maybe beside Kajula, and that you don't really want that to happen. So, yeah, let's see what happens in the regular season with Brown. The staff's already said they want to see what they have before they do anything.
100%. We got to get to a break here. So we're going to have Zach Mathis, the Edmonton Elks rookie receiver, joining us here for a few minutes as they get ready for their big game tomorrow night down at Commonwealth Stadium, 5 o'clock against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That's all coming up next here on EST Afternoons. First up, here's Zachticum with a sports update.
The Oilers are out in Vancouver for the final preseason game against the Canucks at 8, with Derek Ryan out day to day. Tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Hernan Salas and Tom Gazzola at 7 o'clock right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Other games have the Flames meeting the Jets, the Senators facing the Red Wings, and the Islanders playing the Rangers. While earlier today it was the Devils beating the Sabres 4-1 in Czechia for the lone regular season game. Red Wings goaltender Jack Campbell has entered the NHL Player Assistant Program and will be away indefinitely. Campbell has played for the Stars, Kings, Maple Leafs, Oilers, and signed with Detroit this offseason. In the CFL, it's the Blue Bombers duking it out against the Ticats, while the Stamps hit the turf with the Lions. Tomorrow, the Elks battle the Riders in Commonwealth Stadium at 5 o'clock, and Matthew Wannick and Jay Mill will be live for the Green and Gold kickoff show just an hour before the action at 4 o'clock. NFL injuries see Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson as questionable, Devin Singletary doubtful for the Giants, David Njoku questionable with a chance to play for the Browns, Zamir White doubtful for the Raiders, and Micah Parsons out for the Cowboys. Right after the break, it's Zach Mathis, wide receiver of the Edmonton Elks, joining Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton, 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 from the 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedents are ready. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Salas, and shout out to Zachticum back at the EST studios, keeping us on track here. Very proud of myself. I haven't touched Joaquin Gage since the second segment of the show, so
yeah, we'll see. We've got a ways to go here.
we still got 12 minutes to go here, and I'm just going to check in here to see if Zach Mathis is good to go, and I'm just waiting on that. So as soon as Zach gets him on the horn, we'll get to Elks rookie receiver Zach Mathis, 6'7" Gager.
That's a big boy.
This is one of the guys you kind of Randy Moss. You just throw it up to the corner route in the end zone and let him go get it. And I got to know him a little bit there with my time. He came in a little bit late, but a great kid. Just very humble. Good friends with Trey Ford.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of a gamer as well. I don't know how good he is, but I know he games with them because they're all gamers.
Okay.
So, we're just waiting on the Kubs to get to us. And just give you some information for the Elks game tomorrow. It is Hollywood night. They're going to have a red carpet in the Elks fan park with a 360 camera photo booth. It's going to be popular movie and TV show clips, all game in contesting and on the Jumbotron. Probably the best part, post game, they will be having the biggest fireworks show in Double E history, Gage.
Good for the kids.
You're not working it, obviously, right?
No. I've got a prior commitment.
Okay, fair enough. I think Zach Mathis is good to go, as we're joined now by Zach Mathis, rookie receiver for the Edmonton Elks. Zach, a tough outing last week. How was this week's preparation, and how's the vibe heading into tomorrow's big game against the Riders?
It's great. We're still, trying to reach our goal of making the playoffs, and we're taking that one game at a time. And preparation this week has been great. Everybody's locked in and ready to go.
Zach, getting your first start in the CFL, that's got to be exciting. What's your? I mean, I know you've already kind of mentioned trying to stay in the moment, but for you to have success as an individual and as a group tomorrow, what has to happen exactly?
I think offensively we just got to start fast and get after them early in the game, and defensively just not let them get much points on the board. I know we struggled a little bit last week, but I know our guys will bounce back, but offensively for sure it'll be about starting fast and getting on the board early. Take the shots we do take, hit on them early, and then so the run game can open up as well. And we ran the ball well versus them last time, so plan on doing that well again.
Zach, how's this first year for you been in pro? I know you were with the Buccaneers for a mini camp there early in the year, but how's the CFL game coming to you? You got everything down, the rules, the width of the field, and all that? How's these first couple of months in the CFL have been for you?
Yeah, definitely a learning curve at the start. The little differences in the game, but getting those things down, it's been great. Been loving Edmonton, loving the team, and we're just trying to build something over here in Edmonton into one of those winning traditions.
You know, coming from south of the border up north, some of the differences from the CFL how does it feel being a receiver with the waggle? First of all, and what did you think about that?
The first thing I thought honestly is this makes it a lot tougher on defenses guarding someone running already, for sure. I definitely think all football is offensive oriented, but I think the CFL especially is premier in that aspect of it, and but just learning those rules, like I said, and then just the waggle is a huge advantage for offensive players, and you being able to move on the line of scrimmage when south of the border down in the States, you got to be stationary and things like that. Just so there's just those little things. Actually, I see them as advantages playing offense.
Zach, your college days, you played 6 seasons at North Dakota State. You won 3 FCS national championships there. What was that experience like? You put up some incredible numbers there at North Dakota.
Oh, sorry, you cut out there at the end.
Sorry, just what was the experience like at your 6 seasons at North Dakota and the 3 championships you won there?
Oh, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, I got blessed to win 3 national championships there. I went to 4, and always just coming from a winning tradition is just, I mean, I think that benefits. And then coming to Edmonton, hoping a group of guys like that can hopefully become like a nucleus of a team and bring those traditions and start them in Edmonton. The way it's been going the past couple years, I know historically Edmonton's been a great winning team, but trying to bring that back and bring the hard-nosed football. But North Dakota State was awesome. I mean, it was a real run-heavy offense I was a part of. I did battle some injuries throughout my college career, but all in all, it was a great time there. Like I said, got to win 3 championships, and it makes it a lot more fun when you're winning that much, I'll tell you that. So it was a great time there.
And the colors didn't change much, from your college team to now.
Yep, that's another thing. Didn't have to get anything new. I just could keep all my college stuff because we're wearing the same colors.
And have you beat Trey yet, the NCAA in the video game?
No, Hernan, I'm telling you, he said it yesterday. I run that game, and it'll stay like that. But I'm with him right now. He's trying to give me a little side eye, but
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome, Zach. Say hi to Trey for me, and thank you for joining us today. And all the best tomorrow. We'll be watching.
Yep, and our guy Khaled, cutting the barber, said he wants the shout out. He says he cut your hair downtown.
Oh yeah, Khaled, he's a good dude. Yes, from good old Shadified. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I know he cuts a few of the players. He gets some of their fades and all that. So yeah. Shout out to Khaled for sure, Zach. All the best, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one. That's Zach Mathis from the Edmonton Elks. Great kid.
Yeah.
Absolutely great kid. 6'7", 203. We'll see if they go to him a little bit more tomorrow. He's definitely got that reach and that height advantage, and I was telling you in the break, he's just a great kid.
Yeah, sounds like
good buddies. I like how every player we ask on the Elks about video games, they're the master at.
I know. Yeah, it's like everyone's going to EA Sports after this. Jeez.
It's great. And yeah, shout out to Khaled. He used to do my fade. He moved on to another barbershop, but I know he does a
Do
few
we
players.
need to talk about hair?
No,
hair
we don't. We
with
don't.
the follically challenged. I mean, if we want to talk back hair, that could be a whole episode.
Back.
Yeah.
I have a few buddies that can join you in that
I go into the shower at home, and my wife's like, "Oh, there's a bear in here." Oh, it's just Joaquin.
What a fun show. We had Don Taylor, who's Joaquin's guy from the Donnie and Dhali show on Chek TV. He was fantastic. Make sure to check that out. He was on at 1:20. We also talked about scary condiments because Connor McDavid is scared of ketchup. Talked about our first car. We talked about a new segment coming called Smoke and Heat. And we also gave away the EST flyaway to LA to Orlando. And big shout out to Daniel Nugent-Bowman, talking Oilers, and Zach Mathis from the Edmonton Elks. This was fun, Gage.
Yeah, no, first time show on location. I've done it with Tommy and stuff from some oil streams, but never our own show.
Yeah, I know. And we started a little rough because one of the settings I noticed in Wirecast was off, and then Dusty had to come do that. And then the touching got a little uncomfortable, but that settled down after the second segment as well. But coming up, it's the one and only Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne. They got a great lineup as well. I think
he's got great eyes.
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
I know. I just remembered
if you've
that.
never looked into Jay's eyes, don't do so.
Very captivating. I lost myself for like 30 seconds. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Too much nostril on that one, Jay, but the eyes are really nice.
We got to get going here, but there's a new ranking at EST for most hands.
Yeah.
Jay's number 1. I think we put Trev 2, and Tommy's falling in number 3. All right, thanks to all our guests. Thank you to all the nasties on the Nasty Chat for always chiming in and keeping us on our toes, and everybody that hit us up at 780-218-9999. Of course, the All-Stream pre- and post shows coming tonight with Tom Gazzola, Joaquin Gage, and myself. We'll tee it up, and finally the preseason is over. Have a great weekend. For Joaquin Gage, Zachticum back at the studio. I'm Hernan Salas. This has been EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk. We'll talk later. Ciao.